Imagine a future where your DNA doesn't just define who you are biologically, but digitally. In this future, your online identity isn't a username, password, or cryptographic key. It's your own genetic code, encrypted, verified, and synchronized with every layer of the metaverse. Welcome to the era of Metaverse DNA Profiles, a technological fusion of biology, blockchain, and identity that could transform what it means to exist both online and off. The internet began as a network of information. Then came social networks, which added identity. The metaverse takes that further. It's not just who you are, but how you exist. Every motion, expression, and decision inside this virtual world is part of your persistent self. But even with advanced biometrics, avatars, and security systems, there's one problem that keeps haunting digital civilization: authenticity. How do we know who's real? How do we distinguish between you, your clone, and an AI deepfake pretending to be you? The answer emerging from the fusion of genetic science and digital identity is the concept of DNA-linked verification systems, the Metaverse DNA Profile. At its core, this idea proposes that every human user could have a digital identity based on an encrypted version of their biological DNA sequence. Instead of logging in with a password or even biometric scans, your DNA, translated into a cryptographic hash, becomes the key to your online existence. You wouldn't upload your raw genetic data, of course. Instead, the system uses a process similar to how secure hashes work in cryptography. It transforms your DNA signature into an irreversible code that acts as a unique digital fingerprint. Theoretically, no two humans could ever generate the same DNA hash, making identity theft practically impossible. But why link DNA to the metaverse? Because as virtual worlds become more complex, more valuable, and more intertwined with daily life, the risks of digital fraud escalate dramatically. Imagine a future where virtual real estate, digital art, and even synthetic consciousness have trillion-dollar economies. If someone could hijack your metaverse identity, they could take everything: your assets, your creations, your reputation. DNA-based authentication offers a near-absolute identity anchor, tying your digital self to your biological one in a way that cannot be forged or faked. To understand how this might work, think of your DNA profile as a hybrid passport. When you first register for the metaverse, a secure device takes a small genetic sample, like a saliva swab or fingerprint-level cell capture. The DNA is processed into a sequence of numerical values representing specific markers. These markers are not medical. They are cryptographic tokens, similar to how blockchain nodes verify transactions. The resulting genetic key is then linked to your digital persona across the metaverse. When you enter a world, trade assets, or interact with AI entities, your DNA profile silently verifies that you are, in fact, you. No passwords, no 2FA, no chance of deepfake intrusion. The implications stretch far beyond security. In social terms, DNA profiles could create a new level of digital accountability. Every avatar could be connected to a verified human genome, eliminating anonymous trolling, spam bots, and fake accounts. Digital elections, court hearings, and business deals inside the metaverse could achieve unprecedented trust. Imagine signing contracts, attending virtual school, or performing remote surgery in an environment where every participant is genetically confirmed to be real and authorized. However, the ethical terrain here is as vast as it is dangerous. Linking DNA to digital identity raises immediate questions about privacy, surveillance, and ownership. Who controls your genetic key? What happens if a government, corporation, or hacker gains access to the encryption method that translates DNA into digital hashes? Even if the system promises that no raw genetic data is ever stored, the metadata surrounding these transactions could still reveal patterns about individuals and populations. It's not just about logging in anymore. It's about what kind of human fingerprint we leave behind in a world run by algorithms. Now imagine the next phase, personalized avatars built from your genetic profile. Your DNA doesn't just confirm your identity, it shapes your digital form. Height, voice tone, even micro-expressions could be algorithmically derived from your genome, creating avatars that are biologically authentic versions of you. It could bridge the gap between reality and simulation in hauntingly precise ways. In some communities, these true-form avatars could become status symbols, proof that you are genuine in a sea of artificial beings. In others, they might be used to preserve authenticity in historical archives, genealogy networks, or digital memorials. There's also a darker horizon. What happens when people begin to edit their DNA through CRISPR or synthetic genome engineering, and those edits cascade into their digital identities? Someone could technically recode themselves into a new person, both biologically and virtually. You could alter your genes, update your Metaverse DNA profile, and literally become a different individual. Governments and corporations could impose identity restrictions, deciding who is verified enough to enter certain zones or access elite systems. DNA might become the new border, the new passport, and even the new currency. In healthcare and education, Metaverse DNA profiles could be revolutionary. Imagine digital universities that tailor teaching styles to your genetic learning preferences, or medical simulations that instantly sync with your DNA markers to predict disease risks in real time. Your doctor, represented as an AI in the metaverse, could interact with a fully detailed virtual twin of your body, down to cellular precision. The possibilities for preventative medicine, gene therapy planning, and psychological treatment are limitless. But again, the boundary between helpful personalization and invasive profiling becomes razor thin. On the corporate side, DNA-linked authentication could evolve into the foundation of the next data economy. Instead of data brokers buying and selling behavioral metrics, they could trade encrypted genetic data tokens. Companies might pay you directly to share parts of your DNA profile for research or custom services. It's the evolution of the surveillance economy into the biosurveillance economy. A future where your very biology is monetized. The same algorithms that recommend movies or clothes could one day recommend genome edits, personalized diets, or even ideal virtual partners based on genetic compatibility. The integration of DNA and blockchain technologies is already being explored. Companies are experimenting with genetic NFTs, unique blockchain-verified tokens representing a person's genetic markers. While it sounds dystopian, these systems promise to give individuals ownership of their own genetic information, rather than handing it over to corporations. Your DNA NFT could be a key to your medical data, your virtual avatar rights, or even your lineage preservation across centuries. In a fully developed metaverse, generations could maintain continuous evolving digital family trees secured by inherited DNA hashes. Your descendants could literally verify that you were real centuries ago. But every technological evolution carries a shadow. The same system that prevents identity theft could enable totalitarian control. Imagine a government where your access to digital life, education, work, entertainment, is revoked because your DNA profile is flagged as non-compliant. Or worse, imagine a black market for synthetic DNA signatures, allowing criminals to impersonate others at a genetic level. Entire new forms of digital crime and biohacking would emerge: DNA laundering, genome spoofing, and metaverse identity trafficking. Cybersecurity would merge with genetic science into a new field: bio-cyber defense. There's also the philosophical dimension. What does it mean to have your existence verified through DNA? Does your digital self remain you if it's tied to your genetic material? Or does it become something else, a reflection of your biology rather than your consciousness? We might face a future where individuality becomes defined by genetic pattern rather than personal experience. In that sense, the Metaverse DNA profile is not just a security tool, It's a redefinition of identity itself. In creative industries, artists and musicians might use DNA authentication to prove authorship of their works. A song, a digital sculpture, or an AI-generated experience could carry an embedded DNA watermark of its creator, forever linking human inspiration to its source. It could end plagiarism and forgery, but also lock creativity within biological ownership systems. Imagine an AI composer that can't replicate your sound because it's genetically coded to your unique neural rhythm. Your art would literally carry your essence. Now consider social applications. DNA-based compatibility engines could redefine relationships in virtual space. Dating platforms could pair people not by interests or looks, but by genomic complementarity. Entire metaverse cities might form around shared genetic traits, echoing both utopian and terrifying possibilities. Will people use DNA profiles to build communities that celebrate diversity, or to segregate themselves into designer genetic tribes? The very notion of equality could shift once again under the weight of data. It's not far-fetched to imagine that your DNA profile could serve as a universal identity across all realities, physical, digital, and augmented. You might carry it in a subdermal chip, a nanobot bloodstream signature, or a cloud-anchored blockchain node. You could walk through physical and virtual borders seamlessly, interacting with AI, humans, and synthetic entities who instantly recognize your verified existence. It's the ultimate blend of trust and surveillance, a future both empowering and unnerving. In essence, Metaverse DNA profiles represent humanity's attempt to anchor truth in an age of simulation. As the boundaries between digital and physical life dissolve, the search for authenticity becomes existential. Who are you when everything can be replicated, faked, or simulated? DNA-based identity systems promise certainty, but at the cost of surrendering our most intimate data, the blueprint of life itself. So, as we stand at the threshold of a world where the code of our bodies becomes the code of our souls, we must ask, is the price of absolute authenticity worth the loss of absolute privacy? Can we trust systems that promise security when those systems are built on the very fabric of who we are? The metaverse is coming, and with it, the fusion of biology and identity. Whether it becomes a paradise of verified connection or a prison of genetic control will depend not on the technology, but on us, the users, the dreamers, and the architects of our digital selves. The DNA profile may be the next great leap toward a unified existence, but it also forces us to confront an ancient question, reborn in a new form. What does it mean to be human when even your code is online? And maybe that's the real evolution, not of technology, but of understanding. In a world where our DNA defines our digital reality, perhaps the greatest challenge will be remembering that identity is more than code, more than data, more than flesh. It's the story we tell through every version of ourselves, real, virtual, or somewhere in between. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Your support helps this channel grow. Thank you for watching.